Well, the mortgage relief plan sounds on the surface like a logistical nightmare. Are there enough accountants, enough administrators, enough people to try to go through case by case, figure out which homeowners should qualify for help and which don't? Our next guest says it's actually not that tough. He's got a plan. Jeffrey Taylor, co-founder of mortgage analytics firm Digital Risk, with us now. You and I were chatting in the commercial break. I said this has got to be impossible. You said it's actually very easy. Why?
Well, there's a four-step process, one that the government has to do and three of them that we all have to do. First, there's a form called the 4506T, which a borrower signs and gives access to a lender or somebody doing a modification to pull their tax transcripts for the years that they're submitting. That's
the right for you to look at my W-2 or whatever.
Absolutely.
To know how much I made.
Absolutely. Problem with this form, though, is when it's created, it had a 60-day time frame on when it could be executed on. So right now what the Obama administration needs to do is simply remove the time frame and allow that document, like the other pertinent documents, in a loan application to live for the life of the loan.
So you could use it even and go back.
Absolutely.
You could say, hey, 3 years ago, Mr. Smith, you said you made $1.25. According to the government, you made 70. What's the problem here?
Absolutely. So you simply remove this time frame and you're good to go. But now, old data, a year, 2, 3 years ago in today's economy, it's not that relevant. You need to institute a few more steps. Secondly, now you hit public record databases for income and employment and assets to make sure, does the tax records match up with that? Now you move that into a predictive model right now, which says, okay, are there any misrepresentations based on what we've seen on the tax information?
Okay, so let's say you didn't, Jeff, you passed the first test.
Right.
You didn't lie about your income.
Right.
They proved you got a job.
Right.
Now what?
Okay.
What's the next step?
Now you move it into predictive analytics. Now you say, okay, you've put this data and it says, are there any misrepresentations? Are we catching anything like, for instance, you said it's primarily owned house. Actually, we see you may have a second or a third investment property. So does that warrant? That now goes to the next step where we have forensic underwriters.
Who makes that decision then? But then who says, is there a referee that says,
analytics.
You own 4 condos in Phoenix?
Right. It's an analytical process. When you get the data, you pump it into the predictive model. The predictive model kicks out recommendations. Now the forensic underwriters, which are on staff at these servicers, say, okay, now let me go ahead and take a deeper dive to see if this is true or if it's not true. If they can verify it and the person, what he was saying is the truth, they give them the modification. If not, they come back to the person and say, Mr. Jones, all of a sudden we've gone through your modification application and guess what? Looks like maybe you need to stop spending.
Very quickly, Jeff, how many people do you realistically think it's going to help? How many people are going to pass all those steps?
In today's market right now, you could probably have up to 50% of the people looking for modification simply because this process only takes 72 hours, guys. We're not talking months. And then the modifications you're doing have a high rate of success because they're based on fact in today's information, not on best guesses.
Well, I hope people are listening because if we're going to help out, we need to at least make sure that people deserve the help that weren't speculators. Jeffrey Taylor, we do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Coming up after the break.